Hi, I'm Pat Heaney, Assistant Director of Education at the Watershed Institute. Today, I'm going to dye some eggs using a natural pigment, onion skins. I'm going to start out with raw eggs right out of the container, and I'm going to take that egg and I'm going to wrap it in onion skins. Now there are different ways you can do this, but I want to try to get a sort of mosaic design on my onion. So I'm wrapping it in the skins, placing it right in that mesh bag, that's the one I bought the onions in, and wrapping it nice and tightly. I think I can put a second egg in there. Let me get another one. Same idea. I'll get some skins. Some little pieces in there as well. I'll wrap that egg up and place it right inside that mesh. Wrap it up nice and tight. And I'm going to use a little twist tie to tie it together. Now to boil my eggs. Just like you normally would, place them in the pot, cover them with water, and we're going to add a splash of vinegar. The vinegar acts as a mordant. Mordant means to bite. It helps that color stick or bite onto the eggs. Now I'll put it on the stove and cook it for about 12 minutes, and then we'll see what happens next. My eggs have boiled for 12 minutes. I took them out and cooled them off, and let's see what happens when we unwrap them. I'm hoping we get a sort of tie-dye effect, but I'm not sure what we'll get. Still covered with, oh, look at that. Very cool. I like it. Now the other one came out. It looks like you got some of the imprint from the mesh bag on there. Well, there we go. Those are some cool tie-dye looking eggs made with onion skins. And here you can see the water came out a beautiful golden color. Now, if you don't want this tie-dye effect, you could just put onion skins right in the pot with your eggs. Don't worry about wrapping them up, and you'll get a solid color egg. Well, enjoy dyeing your eggs with natural dyes. Stay safe at home.
Hello everybody, this is Sam Bernstein from the Watershed Institute. I am coming today to show you how to do some natural egg dyeing with beets. So we'll see how they turn out. Right now what I've got are pre-hard boiled eggs, so they're already ready to go. Right over here I'm going to do 2 brown and 2 white, and we'll see how they turn out. I've got about 3 beets in here. I chopped them up. You want to give a lot of surface area, but you don't have to be too careful about it. I didn't peel them or anything. And I've got about 1 quart of water there, and a tablespoon of salt, and a tablespoon of vinegar, white vinegar. So what I'm going to do is put that water, salt, vinegar, and beets all into a pot and cook it for about 30 minutes. And then once that's all cooked up, I'll strain those beets out and put my eggs in. So I will check back with you in a minute when my beets are all cooked up. Checking in on our beets here, they are at a rapid boil. I'm going to turn the heat down to a simmer and let that simmer for about 30 minutes covered up. And when that's all done, we'll be able to strain the beets out, and our beautiful dye will be ready to go. All right, here's the finished product. I've strained the beets out of the pot, and this beautiful dark red looking dye is what remains. And now all we have to do is take our hard-boiled eggs and let them soak in here. All right, everybody, here's the finished product of our beet dyed eggs. I have our two ones that started out brown on the bottom. They just sort of look a darker brown. And then on top here we have our white egg, which turned out more of a light maroonish pinkish color. Not as well as I would have hoped, but what can you do? We're going to try to use some red cabbage today. I have my pre-boiled, hard-boiled eggs all ready to go. I'm going to try 2 brown and 2 white. I also have a quart of water, a tablespoon of salt, a tablespoon of distilled white vinegar, and 1 head of shredded red cabbage. So again, I'm mixing all of those things up into a big pot and boiling them for about 30 minutes. And then I'll be straining all of that cabbage out and putting my eggs in the dye. So I will check back with you in a little bit. All right, checking in on our red cabbage. It's starting to boil. I'm going to turn it down to a simmer, cover it up, and let it simmer for about 30 minutes, stirring occasionally because there is a lot of cabbage in there. You can see our water vinegar mix is already turning a nice pretty purple. So check in with you soon. I've strained all of the cabbage pieces out, and we're left with this beautiful, almost maroon, purpley colored dye left behind. All right, everybody, here is the final result on our cabbage dyed eggs. Amazingly, they turned a beautiful bright blue. Our brown ones, these two were our original brown ones, they are more of a turquoisey color, and then up here we have a really beautiful, almost royal blue color. So these worked wonderfully.
Hello everyone, this is Ms. Yesenia from the Watershed Institute, and here we're going to dye an egg into a coffee brew. And what I'm going to add is a tablespoon of vinegar. Allow that to mix into my coffee. I'm going to take an egg. I'm going to let that drop into there. And I'm going to put a top on it. Now I'm going to leave it out for 2 hours for the egg to soak in all that dye. And we're going to check out later to see what color the egg turns into. Stay tuned. Thank you. Here I'm going to be dyeing some eggs with grape juice. And mixing this grape juice, I have some vinegar inside. And I'm going to pour this grape juice into the jar here. And next I'm going to take an egg. A little bit cracked, but that's okay. Can create a cool texture. I'm going to put the egg gently inside here. And then I'm going to cover it with a top. Leave it out for 2 hours and see if the egg has taken up all the colors of the dye. Stay tuned for pictures. Thank you. Here I'm going to show you how to dye your eggs with paprika. So I already have boiled and heated up paprika spice mixed with water and a little bit of vinegar into a pot for about 25 minutes. I'm gonna take the liquid and pour it into this jar all the way up until it gets almost full. Right there is perfect. Then I'm going to take an egg. I'm going to put it inside the jar. And I'm going to put a top on it. Leave it out for about 2 hours. And then I'm going to come back and check to see if the dye has stayed onto the egg. Stay tuned for pictures. Thank you. Hello everyone, this is Miss Yesenia from the Watershed Institute. Here I am adding 2 tablespoons of turmeric and some orange peels to dye some eggs. And we're going to see what color they're going to turn out to be. I'm going to leave this pot on the stove to simmer for 20 minutes. And then that will get our dye ready for the next process. Stay tuned. Thank you. Hello again everyone. So what I have here is I have strained some of the leftover powder, and I'm going to take an egg. I'm going to put that inside the jar. I'm going to put a top on top, and then I'm going to leave it out here for 2 hours along with my other eggs and see what colors we will get from using natural dyes. Thank you everyone, and have a good day.